Cyber warfare often brings to mind images of ransomware locking down a single hospital. However, right now, beneath the polished facades of the world's most powerful corporations, a silent invasion is already finished. Over the past 2 years, advanced persistent threat groups have planted over 1,000 dormant malware strains inside the digital infrastructure of the Fortune 500. These groups operate with the precision and funding typically seen in sovereign intelligence agencies. These initial breaches bypass traditional endpoint detection systems by exploiting outdated security architectures. It is a quiet, systemic poisoning of the networks driving the global economy. From multinational banks to energy conglomerates and global shipping providers, they currently operate under a false sense of security. The specific breach they are spending millions to prevent has already occurred. Hollywood often portrays hackers brute forcing their way through enterprise firewalls. The reality is more efficient. Today's threat actors simply log in. This data covers a 30-day window in early 2025. During this month, Cybersecurity intelligence verified that 111 distinct Fortune 500 companies had employee credentials actively traded on the dark web. Infostealer malware drives this industrial-scale harvesting. When an employee downloads a compromised file, the software siphons their authentic access tokens, session cookies, and multi-factor authentication backup codes. These digital identities are auctioned off for pennies. Foreign syndicates use these stolen credentials to gain legitimate administrative access, allowing them to blend in seamlessly with regular employee traffic. Traditional perimeter defense completely fails when the adversary logs in using valid credentials purchased on the open market. This invasion moves deep into the physical infrastructure, past the software layers most security teams monitor. This diagram shows the architecture of a corporate server. While security usually focuses on the operating system, these sleeper strains target the firmware boot chain, the code that awakens the hardware before the OS even begins to load. Residing at the hardware level ensures invisibility. Standard antivirus software lacks the jurisdiction to scan physical memory chips, allowing the threat to remain undetected while the software layer appears clean. If a company wipes their hard drives and reinstalls the OS, the dormant malware simply waits for the system to reboot. It then reinfects the freshly installed system from the hardware up. This hardware-level persistence transforms a temporary breach into a permanent asset, making standard corporate cybersecurity hygiene ineffective. Traditional malware relied on a human operator to issue step-by-step instructions. Modern sleeper strains have moved towards full autonomy. The integration of agentic AI allows malware to pursue broad objectives, such as mapping a financial database without a pre-programmed script. These autonomous agents analyze internal security protocols in real time. They can dynamically rewrite their own code to evade detection as they navigate the network. When encountering a digital honeypot, a fake server designed as a trap, the AI recognizes the danger. It autonomously decides to encrypt its configuration files and hibernate until the environment is safe. Modern corporate networks are hunting a self-evolving predator that learns from their defenses without human intervention. The success of these agents is measured by dwell time, the gap between the initial compromise and the moment an organization detects the intrusion. This timeline shows the contrast in strategies. While opportunistic ransomware strikes quickly, these sophisticated actors sit silently within enterprise networks for up to 284 days. During these 9 months, the malware observes. It records executive keystrokes, monitors communications about mergers, and maps the digital trust between the parent company and thousands of vendors. By the time a security team detects an anomaly, the adversary understands the internal architecture better than the resident engineers who built it. The ultimate objective shifts from the single infected server to systemic, cascading failure across the global economy. Through supply chain cartography, the malware maps the web of third-party vendors connected to the host. Attackers leverage these trusted digital relationships to spread the infection downstream, identifying software update pipelines to move from the corporate giant to its partners. A compromised shipping conglomerate, for instance, provides lateral access to connected seaports, rail networks, and customs databases. This strategy turns one corporate breach into a digital garrote around global commerce. Corporate responses remain largely performative, involving millions spent on remediation and public statements of containment that fail to address the underlying hardware infection. Fortune 500 executives legally certify their security to shareholders, while their boardrooms host autonomous adversaries they cannot remove. The cybersecurity industry is now racing against a synchronized 0 hour. Thousands of tracked strains possess the intelligence to wait for a specific geopolitical trigger before executing a simultaneous strike on financial, logistical, and medical systems. The global economic system is now the host for its own destruction. The payload is set, and the clock is counting down in absolute silence.